Robin, I came home. I mean, just the way, like the fucking. This is just. If and I know it's probably I guess is my upbringing, the education that I did have, and I be trying to separate myself from this crack ass shit, but I'm it bad grammar still fucking bothers me, especially when it's written on paper. Like when it's written, like this is something that should have been important enough to you to make sure it was written out correctly. Anyway, last year as I was coming home from a long day work at Red Robin, I came home. My son Patrick the third was in his rocker laying down asleep. My wife asked me if I can watch him so she can get some rest. She went in the room, and me and the youngest son were in the living room. I was on the couch and he was on the rocker. As I was sleeping, I woke up to my son screaming. I thought he just wanted his bottle, so I tried to give it to him. He didn't want it. As I turned the light on to see what was wrong, I saw
Wait,
a little scratch appear.
are you playing music, Blaze? Do I have to violin? Oh my God.
Blaze, I'm trying not to laugh while reading
See?
this.
Because it's
Hold
not
on.
funny. It's
Hold
not.
on.
It's not.
Hold
Don't ask
on.
for the
Hold on.
violins. It's not
This is
funny.
not,
Listen.
This is
listen,
not
we
But
laughing
I
funny.
at the me. This
swear,
is
I
not
feel like,
funny.
you know what? I feel like he wrote this shit like one of those kids that are like scared to read in class, you know, how it comes out their mouth. That's why I sound so slow reading it because it's written so
That's how
slow.
it was when I
Did
read it
he say
too.
that he
Like
that he looked at
I
the
lost
baby
brain
and the
cells.
scar appeared? He said a scar appeared when he looked at the baby.
Yeah, yeah, like it just
Yes.
He said
magically
it
appeared.
appeared.
Like
As
it
to
just
my
Yes,
magically
as
it
I
appeared.
appeared out of
turned
nowhere.
on Listen, as I turned the light on to see what was wrong, I saw a little scratch appear on the left side of his face and a little toy he played with in his hand.
But go
Child.
back. Where did he fall asleep at? Where he said the
He said
baby
he was
was
on the
at?
couch.
He said
Say it
he
was on
was
the
on
couch.
the
Wait,
couch and the baby was in the swing.
well, the
Mm-hmm.
rocker, but remember he said it
Rocker.
was two sons. He was with both of his sons.
No baby. He was the
Where was it?
babysitter.
Exactly.
Right.
It does. We've been
Um,
saying that. The deposition done said that. He done told on himself many times. Go ahead.
okay, the little toy had a little chip in it because the other two kids played with it too. But wait, he must have he must have fell asleep with it and accidentally scratched himself a little. So I wake up my wife. We put a little Neosporin on it and a bandage, and he was just fine. Didn't feel the need to take him to the hospital. Next day, I take him to daycare. I went home, and 3 hours later, two DYFS workers showed up at my house. I asked why, and they told me that the daycare called DYFS on me because he had a small scratch on his face. So then, after seeing his normal, I don't know what the fuck that means. So then, after seeing his normal, she said he was fine and that he did it by accident. Who is she? Who is the she that he's speaking of here? Is what I would like to know because he says DYFS didn't like that answer. So who who saw his normal? Who can
So
His
am I?
wife.
he dropped the baby off at school with a band-aid and Neosporin on his face. And they didn't even wait but a couple hours to take this child to the hospital. So I'm pretty sure they took him to the hospital first. So probably within the first hour. And then the hospital is automatically supposed to call child services. So as soon as you drop the baby off at school, they noticed it wasn't no small scratch. It was a 2-inch laceration that needed immediate medical attention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, no babysitter, no
No,
babysitter at all.
that ain't my
Mentioned through this
question.
whole article.
Listen to this. This is what doesn't make sense to me. I went home, and 3 hours later, two DYFS workers showed up to my house. I asked why, and they told me that the daycare called DYFS on me because he had a small scratch on his face. So then, after seeing his normal, she said he was fine and that he did it by himself. Who? He can't be talking about the wife because the wife would
Mm-hmm.
already know what he normally looks like.
Right.
The two DFS workers ain't got the kid with them because they're not finna bring the kid to your house. They're not bringing the child with them when they come to you. That child is already in a safe space
I'm
or
thinking he's
supposedly
talking about
safe
the
space.
hospital. He
Talking about
got
the doctor.
But they're standing, but at this point, they're at his door.
right. He done skipped a whole different part. I mean, he just
Skip
skipped.
the part.
Exactly. That doesn't make sense. Who is the she that saw his normal? How does she see his normal? If he got a gash on his, like, what does that even mean? His normal what? His normal behavior? What he normally looks like? I mean, everybody knows that a big ass gash on your face ain't normal. So
So
what do you
exactly.
mean by after seeing his normal?
So like
Ooh,
we said, the daycare is the one that called on him. So everybody and their mama against you, Patrick, right? I guess. Now the daycare center, after seeing this 2-inch laceration on his baby face, sent him to the hospital. So did they lie on you too? And how does
Yeah,
a
yeah,
doctor?
duh.
How does a doctor determine he
and
did it
then he
himself?
says DYFS didn't like that answer. Who gave them that answer? Who is he talking about? That's what I want to know.
Right. That is a good question. Because the
Because
kid
none of
was
that
in
makes sense. So then, after seeing his normal, she said he was fine and that he did it by accident. Who the fuck would even have the authority to say that this child did this by accident?
I'm pretty sure on that part he referring to his wife because I know in the deposition he said
But which
something
makes
about
no
her.
sense to say after seeing his normal, because he's talking about the same person.
Yeah,
None of that shit makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. That just, I don't know. That just sounds
makes
like
sense.
some
You
shit.
know, look, listen, look how he even typed or whatever like that. That's how I was like, this is what's
Exactly.
up.
That's why I know this
Come
whole
on.
little excerpt is some bullshit.
I listen. I lost brain cells trying to read this when somebody sent this. I said I had to see first of all when I considered the source. I thought for real. I thought somebody had edited this to make it funny. No, you know what I mean. Not like ha funny, but like
Right.
to make him look really or like we knew you were like an idiot, but I was like, damn, you're really fucking dumb. You know.
Right.
And I really lost brain cells trying to read. I had to read it over and over again because I was like, what?
We
You
ready
know,
to
I
move
had
to
to
the
Right.
go
next
over
one?
to my notes.
Y'all ready to move to the next one?
And then
Yep.
this is
Uh,
before, no, because we ain't even finished this one. We ain't
okay,
even finished
okay.
this one.
I was
Because
done.
this is
Okay.
before, this is also before the baby even goes to the doctor.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
This is
true. Yeah.
before the baby goes to the doctor. Because then he says well, dang, he must have got a call. Then it says DFS didn't like that answer. They had him go to a doctor of their choosing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was something wrong. One day, as I was on my way to work to Red Robin in the middle of the day, and out of nowhere, five cop cars surround me and pointed their guns at me like I was an animal right in front of my job. Exclamation, 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 exclamation. Ugh. I, at that point, have never been arrested and never been to jail. Went to the station to be processed and was told I was being charged with second-degree assault and endangering a child. I was facing 15 years in prison. I sat in a jail cell for 2 months and change on a $50,000 bail. Lost my job, my kids, my family, etc. I was called a child abuser and a monster. 2 months and changed has passed, and I'm finally before a judge. He read the charges out loud in front of everyone. My lawyer told the judge that because they
Hello?
you're
You
gonna have to
call?
read the first two sentences again, Blaze. And note that we are missing a part of this too.
It says, as I went home, DYFS and company told me I couldn't come back home or they would put my children in foster care. I did what I had to do to protect my kids, and so did my wife.
So we agreed I should go. Little did I realize I just want to know how this nigga didn't know he didn't have nowhere to go before. How did you not know you didn't have nowhere to go before then is beyond me. Little did I realize I had no place to go. I had to stay in an Atlantic City rescue mission for 7 to 8 months. Only saw my kids and my wife 2 hours a week. Finally, I seen my judge, and he downgraded the assault charges to regular neglect for lack of evidence, which means I was fucking innocent the entire time! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. All because I didn't take him to the hospital. And note that that is in quotation marks. Remember what I told y'all about quotation marks, Pedro? Remember what I told you when you put something in quotation marks like that, in quotations, it's either being sarcastic or you're quoting someone, right? Why would you use sarcasm there? Take him to the hospital is in quotation marks. And gave me probation, which by law makes me a criminal. Another statistic. I couldn't even vote in this year's election, even if I wanted to. As of today, I DJ in Atlantic City and I work full-time at H.H. Gregg. I was at work today and sold appliances to a young woman. She told me she was also a DYFS worker and told me she heard my story. She saw me and said, "You were discriminated against because of the area you were in and because of what you look like." My lawyer, etc., all told me the same thing. She proceeded to tell me that another young man is going through the same thing, but he had his kids and he was never charged. Also living in the same home as them, and he was Caucasian, so his issue wasn't the same, dummy. And that it isn't the first time she has seen people discriminated against by the law for what they look like. So that cracker had the same, okay. Specifically in Brick, New Jersey. So please, for the last time, do not tell me how to feel about the law, about the bad police, the quotation bad police, so that means you're being sarcastic. Because guess what, baby? I'm opening it, girl. Quit playing. What is this? Whose is this? Where did you get this from? What is this, girl? Hold on. Give me 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Hold up. Yeah, at your house. You live in the same house I do. So please, for the last time, do not tell me how to feel about the law, about the quote unquote bad police, because guess what? My life was traumatized, and so were my children's lives and my wife's lives, and all because of the way I looked and how I was preserved. I was looked at as a criminal and still have a record, all because of quote unquote perception. My daughter is seeing a shrink. I did. If you know anyone, know someone that has been discriminated against, hug them and reassure them that everything gonna be all right.
Child, my head hurt.
Oh my God, I'm making protest posters as we speak. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. That whole thing was a whole mess.
And yet,
And again, no babysitter.
did they question the mother? Because
Yes, she had a sworn statement that they read off, and she blamed him.
this is my thing about the child with the arm. What was the arm got infected and it took him so long? Like, as a mother, why would it take you so long to take him? Or am I missing something?
The mother is the one who took him to the hospital. So allegedly, after the grandmother told her that that baby needed to go to the hospital. Allegedly. Read that off in sworn testimony in court.
So somebody
Am I
else
right, Miss
was.
Roy? I mean, Miss Mistress. Am I right about that?
Say it one time. What did you say?
She was asking who took the baby to the hospital, and I said it was the baby mother because that was in the
Right.
sworn testimony, right?
Allegedly. Yeah, that was in the testimony. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what I'm missing is
hmm
the baby got an infection after a while, right? Because it took them so long.
Yeah, from it being untreated. They said, because we listen to it multiple times sometimes, and in my live, because I want to sync in with people. It said it could be from that infection in his arm, and like the other bones that were that they found that were fractured and then healing back. The broken bones. They said it could have been up to actually almost 7 weeks unattended to medically.
Oh, this is 2 different incidents.
Yeah.
He hasn't even brought. Notice he didn't. Oh, he didn't bring up.
Okay.
He didn't bring
that
up.
part up.
He didn't bring that part up about Jeremiah.
Okay.
Skip over that. Yeah.
As far as we know, because it is a part missing.
Okay.
So
But
basically,
even still
the basics of it is when DYFS blew the whistle, they were also able to find out about past abuse.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying, like obviously, if these fractures are healing, then they know ain't no. I mean, that's a baby. Like, who in the fuck would even have your baby to put them in that type of trauma without you knowing it?
Yeah.
Like, who in the hell are you just giving your infant baby to for that baby to have healing fractures?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Also,
So I don't buy that shit they didn't know.
hold on though. I'm gonna show the receipts later though. With that story, I don't know why didn't nobody click on it. He edited this story about 3 times, right?
Yeah, because Facebook tells you it's been edited.
Yeah.
I just want to let y'all know that. He edited this about a good 3 times. And
he still can edit
came
it.
out like that.
All he gotta do is go right back and edit it.
He edited the story about 3 times. I just gotta take my time and read it again. How many times, like what he changed and edited and put back or whatever. But I just let you know it was like a good 3. Like, dang, how many times did you rewrite this story?
You got all that grammatical damage in there.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Wait, let me see how many times this was. 1.
Well, I can
2,
imagine how it was before. Shit.
3. My bad. He rewrote this about 4 times. So it's like, it's about 4 times. He rewrote it.
And it still went like that? Oh.
Yeah. He edited 4 times. Looking at him.
Well, even if it's a different incident.
So it looks like
how long?
Eb is live with Patrick.
My child.
Why does he have on the same hoodie he's been wearing for 3 days? Like, bro.
Well, he's he
looks stressed out.
Depressed. He's depressed. Good. Did y'all see where they supposedly out of town?
What are they talking about?
Night? Yeah, did you see they was out of town last night?
Yeah, they battling. They ain't talking about nothing.
Not they battling.
He went live yesterday.
See what y'all do? Not say battling. You people.
Yeah,
supporter.
Supporting
predators. That's all that is over there. Bunch of predators supporting predators.
Sick.
Yeah, he felt out the crowd, and he saw and not as bad as I thought. So let me get back to business.
And the way these motherfuckers be on here battling these large creators, I'm more inclined to believe they got a quota they got to meet.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's in their contract.
They got a quota they got to meet, which is why no matter what happens, they still got to get their ass on that goddamn battle.
Exactly. Because Patrick was very use a lie to get out of that. Because that's why he wasn't going live for those last couple of days. Because he was going to come out and tell people he tried to unalive himself, and that blew up in his face. Especially when his sister told me. and then you gotta literally come on here. And first, we should have all known what it was up. Everybody over here knew. But when he sent his girl to come make a statement for him, that should have told you all you needed to know. And she effed it up royally. Everybody good?
I'm just reading this edit real
It's
quick to
just a
see.
damn shame that motherfuckers ain't gonna do the right thing until the right thing is trending.
But when
I
is
mean,
the
y'all
truth
just
ever
spit.
trending though? Like people they don't like the truth.
No,
I
the
don't know.
right thing only trends when people need it to. This is why we have documentaries on R. Kelly right now. This is why we have documentaries on Harvey Weinstein right now. This is why we have documentaries on Jeffrey Epstein and fucking Jeffrey Dahmer and fucking Charles Manson and fucking whatever the fuck, any of these motherfuckers, any of them. Hugh Hefner, all these people that knew that motherfucker was raping people left and fucking right. Didn't nobody want to tell the truth until the nigga was dead. Now it's beneficial. Now it's beneficial to sit up in a fucking documentary and talk about what you knew. And it's going to be the same thing when they do the TikTok documentary.
Factual.
Look at all the faces that's going to be up there motherfucking speaking on the goddamn story. And we're going to be sitting there looking at them like, you know damn well.
And
You
I
know
mean,
what they gonna be
Damn
acting
well.
like? The motherfuckers that was acting crazy when that documentary about the Freaknik came out. Oh, don't put me in there. I don't want to be. No.
nah, and you know, TikTok gonna keep playing with it or whatever. I mean, you could keep facilitating people like him or whatever like that. Y'all gonna end up with a big class law action
They
suit.
already got one. They got two going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know if as far as concerning this, all this cyberbullying, y'all doing this weird stuff with you know, especially people that are not. I'm talking about whistleblowers. I don't really give a damn about none of y'all that's abusing and stuff, but for y'all, cause y'all mad. That's why y'all shouldn't have did what y'all did back then. And don't get me wrong, we all have a past. Mine ain't squeaky clean, but I ain't never did nothing like that. For y'all to try to go out y'all way, try to find shit, and y'all that did all this. Y'all will go to the lengths of hell to try to cover it up. Like, nah, I got to do this. And then after you done did all that, then what? You're still the piece of piece of shit that y'all are. So I just don't understand. It's like, get back on topic. It's still at the end of the day, he did what he did to his kids. He still broke them bones in Jeremiah's body. He still caused a 2-inch laceration. And mind you, at least give, you know what I'm saying? When I was talking, what's the name last night? He even did, I like to give y'all visual aids. He went on a ruler and showed 2 inches and then on his face. But imagine that on an 8-month-old.
Facts. A baby. I don't give a shit if it was 1 inch.
Right. I mean, it don't matter.
First of all, all right, so why would he want to show you how big it was if it was an accident? Why do we need a demonstration if your story was it was an accident that was caused by a chipped toy?
Right.
You know, because you fell asleep when you were supposed to be watching your infant son. But you said it was a babysitter at first.
And
for times. Like, that's the hill you've been trying to DIE on for years now.
And I'm not saying that if it was a small scratch, more than likely, the DYFS would not have been called. But
right.
There are cases where, you know, because we know the system that Child Protective Services is. Sometimes, especially, they got quotas too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they need to take somebody's kids from them, something so small could be, you know, something that they used as a red flag.
Right.
But
the thing about it is it would pass red flags when a baby has bone fractures.
But listen, but my thing is if it was such an insignificant scratch, even if they did call DYFS on you, and it was such a small scratch like that with no other proof, right? Let's say when they looked at this baby, there were no fractures on this baby, or there was no past trauma on this child. They wouldn't have taken the child from him. It wouldn't have been this whole court case. The reason that this whole court case exists is because that fucking cut was way bigger than a fucking scratch. And the shit that they found afterwards let them know that it's more than likely that that gash was not an accident if these children have past traumas that are healing underneath.
Because the injuries they found was a conducive of no case they ever, had of being an accident.
Right.
They said
That's what I'm
this had
saying. Like,
only been brought on by trauma, which conducive
my
with
thing is more than
child
likely,
abuse.
Child Protective Services would not have been called in the first place if the scratch was so insignificant. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all. What I'm saying is, if the scratch was so small that all he needed was a little Neosporin and a Band-Aid, wouldn't nobody been called in the first place? And if they were, if that was it, if that was all they found, then it wouldn't have been no fucking court case. Because more than likely it would have got thrown out. The case
Right.
would have gotten closed with no repercussions to the parents. But the fact that that gash had to be big enough, significant enough for them to even call DYFS, and then for them to examine your children and find all the other damage, oh yeah, them kids should have been immediately taken away from that environment. Whether y'all were the
Well,
ones who actually did it or not, somebody needs to investigate what the fuck is going on in that household. Why y'all don't know that your child is being abused? Who the fuck are you leaving your child with for them to cause that much damage on your child and you don't even know it?
Right.
or
That's what
why
I'm
they
talking about. The
making
mom, like,
mistakes
you a
and leaving them
mother.
with people.
You're a mother. You don't see that? Like,
I
like
was thinking about.
when my daughter used to go daycare
Keep
and change her clothes, her diaper. I'm gonna see something. If something happen.
Blaze, can you go back to the first page while they talking? Because I need to see something.
I just want to say this real quick.
Hey
Y'all think
sis.
about it, then I'm gonna drop. Hey y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't y'all think it's suspicious that Randall came out and said what he said, right?
Right.
And I Speak said what he said, but really, you would think the whole TikTok would be smoky. I mean, there's really no smoke at all. And to be honest, Pat's not even saying anything that anybody else, that said way less, that so-called talked about, they jumping on them. And honestly, this would have been like a perfect opportunity for them to deflect off of these real facts, because if he didn't do that, right, I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying if he didn't do that, he know there's no fact to prove that. So you think they deflect away and jump on him and turn everybody's attention to, yeah, you see how they do? They'll just say anything, all of them the same, but they're not doing it. And I just think that's really weird. He's not going to even say anything. This dude
He
really
not
got
even
up there
saying
and just
anything.
straight up said, I got proof that he touched his, whatever, and nothing. Y'all don't think that's suspicious?
Wait,
Yeah. You only had that one thing where I speak and that was it, and then everybody went quiet again. I'm just saying. I'm like,
didn't I
That's a lot
speak
of
said
words.
somebody that he had 24 hours? So the
yeah,
24
to
hours is
Randall.
The
up, right?
24 hours
It's
been up.
been up. I was waiting for the
Right.
next video to come
So,
where
right.
the
Well,
outrage with
where's
him
all the
spitting
attacks?
again, sweating.
Where's all the attacks? Where's, you know what I'm saying? Where's the whole
Where
crew
is
and all of
everybody
that?
making the
All
videos
the people
saying,
that's defending him.
Randall, you've been called to the front?
Right, exactly. Right.
You would think they would really be riled up about that, because see, this riled up just about us getting, or you getting some facts, some real information. But they ain't riled up at all about this dude getting up here so-called lying. I'm saying it's something so egregious. And
Right.
like I said, had they jumped on that, it would have deflected most of these people that's defending them away from this and onto that,
Mm-hmm.
and cast it as all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird. They don't seem like the things are let settle. But I just wanted to say that. Put that on your
Mm-hmm.
mind.
I definitely was thinking about that.
All right, I gotta go,
Hey,
y'all.
everybody coming in. All right, but
I'll be in the comments. All
Okay,
right.
see. Okay. I'm trying to
okay,
read this
baby.
and look at this. He
Did y'all want
trying to
me
do
to lead this
something.
up? Were y'all rereading this or
Yeah,
something?
just for a second. Yeah, because I'm trying to see
Okay.
what if he changed anything. Thank you. I'm just trying to see something. He didn't want it as I so trying to wait to see what was. Gosh, it's so hard to read. Let me pull my glasses up. Jesus Christ. Mm.
Like, hey, Alicia, this is his. Alicia, I know you watching. This is his side of the story. You cooperating this or no? Because he sure enough left out the part where he hit you. Because he was charged with that too.
I'm tired of like looking at the screen like what I do.
It's
And nobody
let's
care
see,
about
real.
Randall, man. I'm not worried about Coke bottles right now, man. Like, seriously.
No,
We gonna stay on this topic of this child abuser, Patrick.
they said why the F EBT ready with Patrick at a restaurant. I mean, y'all supported that. You supported his grifting tour for the weekend and for this week. So you gotta ask
Girl, stop.
and child abuse supporters about that.
U.S. Marine, honestly, like I said, read the room, my brother. We are not on Randall.
Definitely read the room. Hold on, I didn't even see that. Mm-mm.
That's probably one of them
We
white
on
people
topic. We're
in
talking about
here
Patrick
ready to talk
Genty
about a Negro they
Jr.
don't like. They can take that crack ass shit on somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else. Don't nobody give a damn about it.
Really don't.
Tell you right now,
We
you
on
damn sure ain't gonna
this.
get no empty over here talking about veterans. Okay?
Mm.
Okay? We don't respect occupations over here. A veteran don't mean shit to me. Who is the person? Who is the person? I'd be damned if we give respect automatically to a fucking veteran. Y'all don't respect black veterans, so I wish I would.
And Lord, she's
Hey, hey,
talking to
hey.
the white man. Okay, y'all? Don't go off with it.
Not. No, I don't. I mean that. I don't give a damn
I
about
know
a
what you
person's
meant. I'm talking
occupations
about
coming over
everybody
here
else.
talking about veterans, and then you a white man too, so I damn sure don't give a shit.
Right. Your nemesis, your real nemesis ain't in here, so go follow him. The other one that you obsessed with, don't stay
Right.
over
The other,
here.
yeah,
These crackers
the
lurk
other.
around this app looking for
Right.
an opportunity to go against a nigga. Oh, these
Right. I
niggas
ain't
don't
gonna
like
say the
that
other
nigga.
And
one's
Let
the
me go
name.
over there
wrong
and
one.
jump over here with these niggas because they don't like that nigga.
Right. I ain't gonna say the other one's name, but you need to go obsess over him. Go follow
Mm-hmm.
him.
If you got a problem with Randall and how Randall is treating Marine veterans, go over there and talk to Randall about that shit. We ain't talking about it over here.
Right. He's obsessed with another one, and I ain't gonna say his name, but you need to go find him somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.
Hey, handsome Squidward. What's up? Welcome in. Yeah, like, nah, we on this.
So
Let me
what did
see.
he change? I'm waiting to hear
I'm trying
this.
to see. Yeah, I'm going back and forth to read it, see if he changed any words or anything. So far, I'm not seeing anything different. Let me see. Let's see. So then after James TYS didn't answer.
It was probably just a bunch of misspellings he tried to correct.
Yeah, just a must. Yeah, that's what it looked like. But then he also did add people that he tagged. Like he removed. Okay, so like when he changed it again, he removed the tag from it. So he tagged somebody, and of course, but unfortunately, you can't see who he tried to tag and untag. Then he did it again. Yeah, because I'm not seeing any changes. It's like the same. Then okay, did it again. Let's see how many times. Hold on, let me start from the bottom. All right, so that was his initial one. Then he redid it again. I don't know. Then I guess that's when he was trying to add somebody. Then he removed it again. So it's 1, then 2, then it's 3. So he removed removed it again on the third time, and then the fourth time he added 5 tags, and then added his mugshot. But it's all still the same misspellings.
And look at that
I
mugshot, how
take
big
from
he
that
is.
he was trying to get it. He was trying to get it out more. You went back and you tagged
Right.
more people. Then you added
Right.
a picture to it because we know the algorithm on Facebook works better when a post has a picture with it. The more
Right.
people you tag and pictures you add to it brings more traffic to that.
Yeah, but look, let's get into the comments though. See, then nobody talk about that, right? So, because of course I got that too. You see, I got to get the whole thing right. So, of course, there's people sympathizing with him and stuff like that.
Maybe you can read the part where it cuts off right here too, as well, where it stops at. My lawyer told the judge because it's more to that. Because this is one different. Those are two
Lawyer,
different.
let me see where you at. I sat in jail. Where the fuck is that at? I don't even see that. Maybe that's what's missing. That's what I was looking for. I sat. Hold on. Where is that? Let me see. I was facing 15 years in prison. Oh, okay. Here it is. I sat in jail for 2 months and change on a $50,000 bail. Lost my job, my kids, my family, etc. I was called a child abuser and a monster. 2 months and changed. I'm reading how he has it. Has passed, and I am finally before a judge. He read the charges out loud, and he put out loud in caps in front of everyone. My lawyer told the judge that because they didn't have enough evidence to keep me in there and that my kids needed me, she argued for ROR, excuse me. The judge agreed. I got bailed out by my wife. That's what you're missing right there.
Can you read that one more time, baby? Read it one more time.
I sat in jail. I sat in a jail cell for 2 months and change on a $50,000 bail. Lost my job, my kids, my family, etc. I was called a child abuser and a monster. 2 months and changed. Again, I'm just reading his illiteracy. And change. I know he meant change, but he put changed. Has passed, and I am finally before a judge. He read the charges, is this in caps, out loud, in cap, in front of everyone. My lawyer told the judge that because they didn't have enough evidence to keep me in there and that my kids needed me, she argued for ROR. That's released on your own recognizance. So whatever. The judge agreed. I got bailed out by my wife. But if he would have got ROR, then she wouldn't have to bail him out, but whatever.
Right. And oh my God, the judge read it out loud in front of people.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh. Right.
What a shocker. He read it out loud.
Oh
And
my
how do you
Oh
tell
my
these
God.
your
You see what I'm saying? It's always about him. That's what I'm like.
It's not even
Okay.
a mention about how the kids' health is and nothing.
No. He's always been like that. And hold on. And like sis made a good point, as she said in another live, in my live yesterday or whatever like that. And then y'all other weird people that be saying stuff about him, like everybody keeps talking about, oh, he really loves his kids. He loves his kids or whatever like that. I mean, that's what kids do, unfortunately, even in abusive situations. Why is it nobody has said, none of y'all, like I speak, I creep, whatever, Eb, anybody have said, you know what, my bro, he really loves those kids. He really, that this wouldn't even be something he did. Y'all can't even lie and say that. Hey, imperfect girl. Hey, boo.
Right.
Nobody says that. It's always a fixation on the kids. Right. It's always that. Well, that's what kids normally do. That's what kids normally do, regardless even of, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately, if they being hurt or injured, because they want that validation of love from their parents, especially if they don't know anything different.
Right. Matter of fact, they're gonna fight for their love.
Come here. You get in my
Yes.
They're
purse.
gonna fight.
Come here.
Facts. You know, they literally will, for real. Like, dang, because then you're trying to figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? Because
Right.
I'm sure you did traumatize your daughter and everybody. Because
Right.
then now they're trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Why do I deserve this? So let me try to be a better, daughter or son, so I can get their love. That's going to
Right.
make them push even harder for you.
Yeah.
So, we know that. We know the kids would probably, at least what y'all feel. And mind you, we do know you could pretend to be anything on this app. That's
Right.
obvious. So, just because you might see the kids kikiing with him, we don't know when those cameras go off what he's doing behind those cameras. But he's also slipped up numerous of times to show you that he don't give a damn what he does in front of the cameras, when he made that weird remark about his daughter, saying, hey, the way OC is obsessed about my daughter, he must wants to F her. Mind you, she's in the back seat of the vehicle. Even when he was talking about his groomer allegations, he said it in front of her, then in front of the kids. And then cursed at Kim, because I guess Kim must ask, like, are you? So he's like, are you stupid? Or blah, blah, blah. He's like, screamed at her. All this in front of children. So he shows you what type of individual he is. He don't even give damn. Even y'all catch him in 4K, and this is somebody y'all still over there supporting. And then y'all so busy. That's why I said y'all deflect from these abuses. You so busy about what OC said, which I don't see nothing wrong. Maybe it was harsh to a lot of y'all. I get it. Some people don't, like, oh my God, he's talking about kids. No, you could say something about Patrick's poor parents, and he's still like, don't attack my kids. Who said anything about him? And even with that, all that he was simply trying to bring light to what you do. You consistently fat shame people. Me, I'm like numb to that shit, but not everybody's like that. What if I was that type of person that was hypersensitive, like you try to behave and try to victimize yourself every time somebody reacts to your nonsense? And I was the type that wanted to unalive myself because of that, because I have seen that down my FYP when I was new on here, that there have been some women that were heavier set than me that have done that because they were cyberbullied relentlessly from people like you. Then what? Like, that's why I said it depends on what state. You keep leaving these digital prints in 4K. What if I would lived in one of those states, right? And you told me to unalive myself. And this has actually happened in different states, depending on their law. And then they come up, well, Patrick had told such and such, mistress to unalive herself. And I actually did that. You would have been charged with it, depending on what state.
Y'all, mental and emotional trauma, damage, it's even more than any other type of abuse we have in society. Because most of us are not out here physically putting our hands on people. And the biggest physical, the most prominent physical abuse that we have in this country is sexual. But with physical abuse, emotional abuse is coming right behind that. It's coming with that, not behind it. It's coming with it at the same exact time. So most people in this society are emotionally, mentally, spiritually damaged, broken. It has done mental damage, emotional damage, and spiritual damage has done more to break us as a humanity than any other type of fucking abuse we go through. Because no matter what other type of abuse we go through, mental trauma is coming with it.
Facts.
You can't physically abuse somebody and not fuck up their mental. Doesn't work. Doesn't work like that. You cannot verbally abuse someone and then not fuck up their mental.
So again,
So while we
I
sit here
count
and talk about words,
this.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But so sorry. But I just wanted to finish what I was saying. So while we talk about words don't hurt, and you should be able to just, let the shit, roll off your back.
Right.
That's redundant as fuck, because the most damage we do in this society is mental. It is mental. Bullying, harassment, stalking, all of that shit. That is mental turmoil. So words do hurt people. Matter of fact, they do more damage than anything else in this fucking country, in this world.
So I count about, I say about 6 inconsistencies in this story from what he's already told on his app. So one inconsistency will get you charges. So
Right.
imagine if you got 6 of them in this statement alone. Is this what you told the cops? I'm pretty sure your story changed about 3 different times. And then you wonder why they were, saying you did it?
Right.
I mean, I literally heard his ex-wife say they were twisting their words around. But if from this, it's like he's twisting his own words around.
And to exploit the trauma of racism. You
Yep.
want to
Let's
blame
talk
this on
about it.
racism? You want to blame this on
Yes.
racism? Are you
Mhm.
fucking serious?
He always
And
does
them,
that.
and then that whole, I was, what did he say in that fucking,
I feel like he was trying to get
I
public
was
sympathy with this
innocent
shit.
the whole time, proving that I was innocent the whole time. That's not
Yeah.
what dropping your charges mean. That's not what charging you with a lesser crime means. It
At
just
all.
means they don't have enough proof to prove that you like
No.
absolutely
They
did
did have
this.
enough proof because he pled
No,
down.
what I'm saying is what I'm saying is this is why a lot of lawyers ask for you to drop the charge, because they can't prove a higher charge. This is why some prosecutors will drop what they're charging you with, because they can prove it on a smaller scale, but they can't prove it on a larger scale. What I'm saying is no matter what, that does not mean that you were innocent. It just means that they can't prove if that was their reason for dropping the charges, which is most likely
No, it
the
wasn't.
fucking reason.
They said it in the court case. They said it.
I'm talking in general. I'm not
okay.
talking specifically about his case. What I'm saying is in most cases, when the prosecutor doesn't charge you with what they initially put out, it's because they don't have enough proof to win that case. The same reason a lot of lawyers will tell their clients to do something lesser because they can't, or you know what I'm saying? Like the lady with the whole I Speak situation. She knows that it's going to be hard to prove sexual assault if I didn't actually let him finish the act. So what they'll do is they'll drop. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen. That doesn't mean that you're innocent. That just means that at that time, whatever reason, they didn't have enough evidence. A lack of evidence is not proof of innocence. That's what I'm saying.
Blaze. Can I say something?
Yeah. What you asking for?
No, I was just I don't even know. Because I'm like, it's just a lot going on. Anyway, so like in his comments, he had tagged somebody named Amber Turner, some Caucasian girl. So this is like the comments to this, right? Because I always like to read the comments too. So she says, breaks my heart because it happens way too often. I don't understand how any one person appears more dangerous or threatening just simply for the color of their skin. Keep your head up and prove their BS label of you wrong day by day. And then this other person's like, wow, why couldn't you vote? You aren't a felon. He says in the state of NJ, you are on if you are on probation, you cannot vote. Shaking my head, your lawyer sucks. He should have walked out a free man. You mean me? Laugh out loud. This person Maggie's like, yeah, that was upsetting to read. Patrick's like, I understand. And he puts a little crying face emoji. And then, I don't know, she said something in a different language there. And then somebody's like, powerful. Thank you for sharing. He's like, share away, love. Let the world know that the fear is valid. Then he tags another person named Jennifer Lewinsky in the comments. She says, yes. He says, did you read the story or no? She says, yes. I'm sorry that happened to you. There are 2.5 million people she said on, or I think she meant in the U.S. prison system right now because they can't afford to bail or lawyers with very similar stories. This is the story of the black man. She keeps saying on America, and she meant in America. And then somebody's like, Lala McGrubbles. But again, you going off the narrative reading that stuff. You didn't deserve this. I'm sorry that you and your family were treated this way. I sincerely hope that all parties involved receive their karma. And then somebody thanks him for sharing. And then this other person, this story is sad and disgraceful indeed, but it's not discrimination, Patrick. I know of numerous families that experience the wrath of the DYFS, my own family firsthand. Children suffer the consequences of the system for longer than the adults wrongfully accused. Patrick Genty says, I respect your opinion, but I had numerous people from the government say this was blatant discrimination. And then Patrick says something to somebody. I know, well, her comment's not available there, but he thanks her for that. And then he tags another person in it. And then someone says, they never looked for the truth in my family's case and left 2 children in harm's way. At one pint, oh, it's all these misspellings. Gosh, my headache. At one point they meant, but they put pint. Removing one child from the home permanently, terminating the parents' rights for one child and leaving the other child with the same parent whose rights they terminated in the home. It's a failed system. And then he tagged somebody else named Kirsten Field.